Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I welcome you guys to the class, which is online as well, but this time is online by recording. I'm sharing my lecture through YouTube Live. So this is how we live right now. We're living in the digital disruptions, and uh, right in this time, I mean, like in the afternoon, I have an appointment. I'm so sorry in advance that I didn't meet you in the time at the time, but I prepare myself and I record as a lecture online, and you guys watching right now on YouTube Live. So I hope you enjoy. Today, lecture number 9, I will talking about research tool on urban study, which is I think we are all learning about the concept of sustainability, and also like we learn about how our research to deal with the better city in terms of urban management and urban governance. Right now, we will talking about like how can we study on the urban area by using the new research tool. Okay, before we jump into that, I just want to remind you that we don't have much time in this semester. We will have like 4 weeks and then it's over. So this week we will talking about urban research too by me. And last week we already talked about urban management and governance by Ajahn Pranom. Next week Ajahn Pranom will right back again and talking about management planning. And next 2 weeks, me and Ajahn Pranom will gathering together and have the conversation about Chiang Mai City together. So we will jump into Chiang Mai City as the case study. So prepare yourself, like the final presentations that you guys will prepare, you will testing your idea of your city compared to Chiang Mai, and we will go to the site together. In according to the time schedule, October 6th, that date, we will go to the site. We will go to explore Chiang Mai actual together. So we will meet each other in a person and then go to the city together. So prepare yourself and we will meet actual in October 6th. But for someone who cannot get into the Chiang Mai right on time, or you are far away from Chiang Mai, I'm not forcing you to come to Chiang Mai. You can follow us. I will do the Zoom online at the site as well, so you guys can learn in your homes and following us through the screen as well. And then right after we walking around the city, we learn something. We will stop by and making Zoom meeting again, so you can talk and exchange our thought after that. So I'm also excited for this program on 6th October. And then you will carry on your idea, your knowledge, which is we learn from us. And then you will making your own final presentations individually. And then you will have 2 weeks on processing because we will have national holiday on October 13th and then October 20th. That is the last day of our class. So you guys will prepare for final presentations. And the topic of final presentations, I will inform you in the next 2 weeks. So right now, you just enjoy the class and then get preparing for a city tour and then making the final presentations. Okay. So right now, we've been talking about research tool, and you have to choose research tool as your methodologies, and then research tool is set your narrations, right? If you want to develop the country, if you want to solve some problems, you have to choose the right tool to set your own narrative. Someone want to negotiate people, you have to choose the right tool to empower the people. Some people want to integrate it from top to down and down to the top. You have to choose right tool to learn about that. So set narrations. It means you will select the right research tool to study in it. Okay. And then this is old tool, right? Many times that you read research or you learn about the old research, they will use interview and questionnaires. That's an old tool. And I think old tool is very good. Like if you know your research is qualitative, you will select key persons, select the the specifically the focus group, and making an interview in depth. And then you will analyze it as the selective cases. But some people use quantitative, right? You have to use the questionnaire to gain much numbers of case study, and then you get into the formulas, and then you analyze as the numbers. That's how you use the right tools. But sometimes you can use both, right? If you want to use your um, how to say, like your adaptive study, you can use a questionnaire to begin with, to find an area, to find the topic, and then after you have the questionnaire, you will set the topic, set the right group of people, set the right areas, and then into it in depth. That's how you use these tools as a hybrid way. And especially like you have to set your narrative first, right? And then you can find the right tool. And that making you, if you chose that narrative, right? If you use like you are the one who interviewing, you are the one who set the questioning to questionnaire, you are set yourself as researcher. And then you set people and area as a cases. That is how you set the narrative. But right now, we not we just don't have just only the researcher and the cases relationships like questionnaire or interviewing. We have an action tools, and the workshop and design thinking is the new way that we set our position, not just researcher and cases. We're beginning ourselves as participant, an actor, a learner together. So people who live in the area, researcher, governor, they are not just the one who set the narrative. We will set the narrative together, and the workshop and design thinking is the key that we have the action to together. You just set the frame, try to find an idea from that workshop, and you decide thinking with the participant. You become the learner as well. You become the participant as well, not just only the one who set the narrative first. But this programming is action in the way. So you set the topic, you set the frameworks, but inside is the thing that go by the flow in terms of action tools. So collective memory is the key, guys. When you jump into the communities, when you jump into an area that you chose, or you jump into the community that you participate with, the collective memory is the new way to understand things. Right now, we've been torn by literatures, we've been torn by history, which is written by academia, written by governor. But right now, we have to understand things. Things have more than just two sides. They is like three-dimensional. So collective memories is the key. Because right now, we are mostly a developing country, and we live in different race, different nations, different people. So we have to understand the memories, and memory is the key. But we cannot dictate, or we cannot just set one memory as the key. We have to collect all of the memory and set the tone. So cultural mapping is the new tool to understand the city as it is. So today, I will suggest cultural mapping as a tool that maybe you guys will use this to understand your area and understand Chiang Mai in your own topic as well. So let's jump into it. Cultural mapping is just not that new. It just happened in 21st century in about 2013. In that period, like we want to explain more about the integrated pictures from diversity of culture characters and significance and the works of players from the many points of views. So that how can we make a common things? We use a cultural mapping to significant, to recognize, to support the diversity of people, and that's why we call it cultures. But because the culture is the way that you use, right? The culture is the way that the economic flows, the way that community gathering, the way that regional would developing. So that's why the cultural mapping is the key for integrating the diversity of cultures. But not just that, right? We're developing to become just not only tangible things. Nancy in 2019 add more definition about cultural mapping. It's just not only tangible things, but intangible dimension is also a part of a culture. You will understand the space, the memories, the thing that you've been told, or the narrative of the people, the norms, all of the intangible things is also cultural mapping. So that's why you collecting everything and then put it on the same mapping and visualize as the collective memories. And cultural mapping is the way that you set the tone of your research, or the way that you first studying, or set the narrative that is never belong to the the referent. It's never belong to your secondary literatures. It go by your ideas. Okay, so cultural mapping is have many kind, but cultural industry intelligence, this is the way that you put the resource on the thing that you interested in. At first, we have to understand the background of your area, the background of your community. So you will put on the tangible cultural assets first, right? As a mapping on the map, you will see road, you will see the city, you will see like the sightseeing place, but you have to put on important tangible cultural thing, which is I suggest you call the cultural assets, right? That could be like heritage result, the cultural value, the identified culture, like the temple, shrine, um, anything that refining the city. You put it on, you put it on, you put it on, and then you will reveal something that never been told or never be remarked on the map by surveying, by reading. So this is like your primary resort. You will read something, read some books that related to your topic. You will go to the places, experience the street, experience the city, and then you put it on, put it on, put it on. And then not just only the thing that you see, the thing that you read, but also policy, regulations that the city was mentioned to. You have to put it on. And then all of this is a collective memories and the cultural industry intelligence. They will visual some idea on it. It's just like throwing things on the mapping and you will get an idea what is this city looks like, not just what is the city being told or being mentioned to. And secondly, you will use or sometimes you use a humanistic integrated approach. So you get rid of anything. And then you go to the city, mention someone, set the key person, set the community first, and then jump to ask them, jump to interviewing them at first, and then collecting from the interview, use the memory and put it on the city. The city will shape up in new kinds because people use the city in different aspects, right? Some people they use for living, some people they use for selling things for business as purpose, or some people use as academic things, or tourism they use any kind of purpose. So that's why it's grow up from the humanistic uh, integrated approach. So you set the people first, and then you go to the side, interviewing the group of the people that you mentioned to or you want to integrate it to your map, and then those are how you transfer from intangible thing from the human into the map, and you will set the topic and area first, and then later on when you set the topic from some essay, some tangible thing, which is called as the cultural intelligence, or maybe you set it on from something that intangible thing from a humanistic approach, that will set the topic and that will visualize an area like this one. Sometimes you want to see like what is the urban area that they use for cultural activities. So you have to put it down, right? You set the topic as the cultural activities. So then you divide it like who own the cultures, maybe Buddhism, Christianity, local people, migrant people. You set those groups and then you put it out. You divide it by colors and then you will find, whoa, they have intersection, they have the overlap area, and that will set the topic of you're interested, or maybe the certain area that you can see on the area. So that is just like the primary study, but you throw in everything on the map. From that, you subject the groups, right? You subject the group from an area, you subject the group from the topics, and you will see you divide it by color, you divide it by um, different symbol, and then you put it on the map, or somehow you just select the group and go for intervailing. And this one is just the sample that you set the groups of the organizations, of key individuals, of the key person in the community. You set the topic, set the data that you want to collect, and use the format. The format is very important because like you cannot go by the flow. You have to set the format and info required. Sometimes you speak fairly naturally, but you don't forget that you collect the data. So you have to mention the info requests and then try to uh, how to say like try to make the interview length, because if you don't mention, or if you don't make it, you will like use more time, or you spend time more. So you have to spec like, okay, it could take 1 hour or 15 minutes, direct to the point, and then you can catch more cases or catch more subject groups. From those of things, you subject the groups, you put the topic, and then you can point it out many ideas. As I said, cultural mapping could be anything, but the cultural mapping can visualize anything as well. So you have to set the tone. This is the circle, which is like uh, can happen in your mapping, but you have to set the tone. Like the first one, community engage, empower counter mappings. So this is the topic. You want to see the community empowering and countering mapping. So you have to catch on the communities, the actions, the citizenship, the people. That is the key, that you subject groups to find comedy, countering, also engagement. That you find the place that they can they gathering, that you can see the overlap places that they gathering, and then you can give an idea for empowering those kind of area or those kind of people that they call overlap area or overlap functions. Or if you set the tone for uh, municipal governance, so you will select the area, it could be area of the municipal area, and then try to build up the knowledge, right? Who is uh, the citizenship, and what is they doing, what is they collaborating, and what the strategy that they make from the top down, and what is the text they use. And now you can visualize the governance of the city. You can find the new stakeholder, you can find the right or wrong, pro and con of the governance and the strategies in the same time. Those are the things you have to put on the topics, and then your casual mapping will show or visualize the topic that you set the tone. Set the topic, select the subject, and then go for collect it and put it on mapping, right? This is the way that they use. Sometimes you have no map, you just collect the data, and then you are the one who visualize them on the map later. Or sometimes you come with the map, and then you ask them following to the base mapping that you created. So it can be anything, but more importantly, this is the platform that you can gathering people. You will make the social engagement and also make the social discussion in the same time. So you gathering people, and people become the participant, become the learner. You are not the commander, you go by the flow, and the topic will set up by engagement and discuss socially. and you will see your topic holistically, not just directly, but you will see some related topic, some concern issue in the same time. And that is how you will learn about the research in 21st century, because we are researcher. We improve the better life, right? And then your map will show up we shown up many things like where is the engagement, where is the participator, what should be perceiving, what is the policy that we can challenging, those kind of things will pop up by when you analyze it with your own eyes, right? Especially like when you come up with the land with the base map, right? Maybe you show us your communities and you ask them where you live and where you're gathering, and that's how you see the difference of the area, the difference of the discussion, the difference of comments that why don't you like that area? It's very useful for gathering, but I don't want to be there. It's far from home. I don't want to be there. I hate those groups. That is, we set the new policy, set the new uh, revitalization or redevelopment that you can find the real issue, not just the one who set the tone and ask them as a questionnaire or set the interviewing, which is like they just do you want just uh that you just want an answer. There's no answer. You have to set the question first, right? So uh the concept of cultural mapping is just the way that you understand an area by culture, and that is the way that you use the research and the sustainabilities point of view. So culture is a part of empowerment, complexity, the idea, the identity of communities, and you can identify the holistic understanding of the place, and you can see who is an actor, and you can see the potential points of agencies. That is the valuable, that is the profit that you talk and you gathering people in the same time. And sometimes you can see something that is never be written. Is the emotional, is the memory from the resident or the people who live in that area, or people who concern or stakeholder who related to an area. They will give you an idea and you will redefine the idea of the city. Cultural mapping, revealing. The revealing is the key, right? We revealing something is never been told, something that negotiating, something that anti-discord, anti-narrative. So this is the new thing. Your research will empower, will revealing the new thing that is never been studied before. So I would like to see what is your study, your new thing that you you revealing. Okay, and five, this is how culture produce. Sometimes we don't know like why do we call this area, this is a temple center community. They have to combine with the temple communities, or sometimes it's related to agriculture field. That is how you understand the producing of the cultures, people, area, activities. It depends on your cultural mapping. Six, that cultural mapping will provoke and support the collective discussions for sure. Your collective memories as the cultural mapping will empower and also giving a new thing, which is provoke people who gathering or participant. Whoa, I have no idea what our city looks like, what our communities looks like. They have many issues happen on the talk or happen on the design thinking on the workshop. So that will provoke them, provoke the city, provoke the people, and they will find the collective discussions further to the collective memory, further to the new kind of solutions as well. Seven, there is the way to move further to the futures. The futures cannot be right or cannot be, be written or be planned by just from the academia. They have to be planned by the people as well. So this is how we make the city inclusive. And finally, this is the way that we learn as multi-dimensionals. This is so multidisciplinary study. We put many things on it, right? We are mixed with the architecture, social, humanities, economic on this same mapping. And with your eye, with your own point of view, we set up this multi-dimensional to become the topic, which is like this is the 21st century. We never divide the the nature of the study. We have to integrate it and find the way. We have to see it as multi-dimensional. So in many layers of the data, we visualize something that integrative, and that is the multi um, dimensional or layering on your mapping already. So that could be anything, guys, but the the testing that the use will represent the people. So you have to choose carefully about the subject groups or the focus group, right? And then the map making will rendering the holistic idea on map, and also to set the role of directive will concrete the identity of the communities naturally, holistically. And this is the process to making the cultural map. The first one, you have to set what and where first. So sometimes it's come up with what you want to study, right? Maybe the gathering area, maybe like the reading culture of people, or maybe public space, right? The public space. You set the topic what to the map, and then you will find where. But sometimes you set the where first, like you want to know who use this area or what is this area looks like. So you put where first and then try to find what or people. You say that and you have to study background on it. So you study background about the site, about the significant area, about stakeholder or local first. And that is the first layer that you have to understand by before you going to the site. And then you getting data and visualize as the baseline map. The baseline map is very important. As I told you, sometimes you collect the data and you put on the map, but somehow you have to have baseline map. So baseline map could be something that you use a real map from Google Earth, from the geography mapping, but sometimes the map is just the visualize, the conceptualized map, and that's it. You have to have the baseline map to be the basement of an idea. When you go, you can use the media map, and you can use the observation map that you will visualize as a conceptual map that I told you. So once you're gathering data, those data will visualize some basement map, and that is your first map. And then you gathering with pattern and themes, right? You gathering people with your focus group. You immerse the data from talking, from making game, from everything, and you will making the thematic trail. The thematic trail is the thing that they put it on, like where you live, where is your route, how you use it, what is the time that you use. Those data with thematic trail, and those trail that happen will gathering in depth of the data. When you interpretate it, the media or photograph on it, it will visualize not just only one layer, but many layer will interpretate the trail, and you will find what is right or what is wrong, what is the conflict or what is very common, and that is go to the final. You will visualize all of the data, providing by timeline, providing by generation, providing by user. You will analyze it by the topic that you want to understand, right? And then the asset, what visualize. Those assets like the group of the people, the area, the new building, we visualize it for the final. I know it's very hard to understand by just talking, but don't worry, I will give you an example later. So an outcome of cultural mapping, you will articulate and make the visible multi-layer culture assets, right? You lay out many layers, and then you will find something that is visualized and articulate. an asset, and you will reflect the pluralistic data to the people. Not just that, you can highlight the dynamic and the life, which is like this so strong character of this specific place. And this is new. This is never people been done. So this is an outcome that you can use from cultural mapping. And the output for sure, you can catalyze the place, which is acknowledged as the locality, and also you will have platform to discuss, or you will have the action that you can continuing to gathering people from now on. This is like the foundation that you gathering people, and then this would make you to find the guide collective decisions, right? It could be like not your, but the holistic decision on the site. So you can use it as the future development or future step of your research. So cultural mapping is very valuable tools. It's identifying community and the result. I think don't don't care about the word, guys. Just set the topic, set the subject groups, and then try to find what you're looking for. And those data will layer in and visualize the new tip for sure. Everything will towards sustainable city. This is the goal that I think this subject will guide you to. So from cultural mapping, what next, right? They will come up with design thinking. So this is the design thinking. Empathize, refine, idea, prototype, and test. This is the design thinking. This is could come up from cultural mapping. Once you get an idea, you get an issue, you get the decision, you have to following the design thinking to find a way of solution on new application of the city. Sometimes it's politic, sometimes it's just like sandbox to making a market. I don't know, but you will idea and prototype and test it as a design thinking. But not just that. Sometimes you use a digital platform and you will set the data as well. This is user-oriented data. You can uh, make a data not just interviewing or questioning, but you can visualize it from social media, from any data that user-oriented. Like you want to see where they live, you can see from the Google Map locations. You want to see where is the good place for sport in the city. You can see the map that people use a Nike run sometime. That application, they're collecting the user-oriented data every time, and that will visualize some layer of your data as well. Everything that I talk, cultural mapping, design thinking, user-oriented data will connect and providing open the data. Open data will, this is the key that towards city to become a sustainable city in this world, right? Data is the key to understand the city, and city have to drive it by the data. So all of the data which is connecting as an open source, they will improve to data side. First, you will understanding the business. Once the data will meaning and cleaning and exploration and creating the structure as the engineering, and then predictive modeling, and then visualize things. This is the thing that will be the new sustainability loop, because the data will never fix. Once you set up the topic, once you set up the key, set up the people, those kind of things will become the mechanic to set up the data, and data will be updating time by time, and the city can visualize the data science right on time, anytime, because you set the mechanic, and then the data will visualize and reflecting each other every time. This is an idea of the future city and the future sustainable city. So the cultural mapping is the new tool. for community engagement and sustainability for sure. Okay, so from this data and this knowledge that I told you, I mix and I um, analyze from these three paper, so you can read original paper on this screen right now. You can scan and read it for more detail if you're interested and you want to use as your research tool in the future. You can scan from this, and I think you will learn more because I just want to set an idea, right? I can jump into every detail, so you can scan it and you can read it later. So right now, I think it's time to learn by example. Learn by sample. This is my sample. I'm writing the journal, article of journals, and this is a very good sample for making cultural mapping. Okay, so I want you to um, read carefully. The integrated cultural tasklet for creative tourism, a case study of Chiang Mai district, Chiang Mai, Thailand. This research I presented in Japan 3 years ago before the pandemics. So I think you will get an idea from cultural mapping is the key from the research. So the first I have to understand, right, what the Chiang Mai or Chiang Mai looks like. So I have baseline map is the city and geography thing. Where is Chiang Mai? What is the geography of the Chiang Mai, boundary of the Chiang Mai? And then jump into the baseline map. What is the temple? What is the landmark? What is the street? Where is the canal? What is the significant neighbors? This is the baseline map. And later, I put it with this process. I make the primary research, set up baseline map, and then I will select the the focus group, and then we'll make the thematic trail, and then interpretations, and then visualize and assess as a new assets, right? So my methodology is gathering people. So I select the communities network inside of Chiang Mai. This is provide for three community network. The first one is local people who living in. The second one is the business owner who living in, and the last one is civil society, which is an active people who live in nearby Chiang Mai and work in Chiang Mai. Three of communities will gathering and um, be the focus groups, and then I analyze as which is the cultural landscape that can develop to the second I mean like the second workshop to design the new application. I visualize and interpreted the creative tourism, and then the application will be the holistic discussion to find the new route, and then those routes will integrate it to the city. So this is an idea to making the cultural mapping towards the cultural landscape in terms of tourism. For the first one, this is an idea from local people and civil society. They mention many things, but I analyze and visualize it as the historical landscape. This landscape is represent Chiang Mai as a traditional and history things. I put it down. I put it down. Some places in this area is were gone, is were abandoned. So I have to put it down. And this is like we find the element of the city, some strong, some gone, and that I have to put it on. This is the character of the old communities and historical places on the historical on the cultural mapping as the number one. Secondly, I asked them about the way that they use between the people who living in and also the business owner. They where they use an everyday life. Do where is the shop? Where is the local shop? Where is the temple that you always go? And that's found that Chiang Mai they have two strong communities, and these two strong community gathering by the temple as this cultural mapping. Number three, or cultural mapping. The business owner, they just put on the beautiful Instagram scene on the street, which is like local never know and also social actor never care. This is the beautiful view and important building that they use when you mention where is your shop is, and then this is a good for business people, and you can see it represent modern townscape in the city, especially like the old modern house, the curvy corners, and the beautiful modern building. This is represent this city as the modern lifestyle and also good for business. From that, I put it everything down, and it found out that mostly there are the connection between an old community and new community, the intersection uh, in the causeway, and also inside the gathering between the history platform and also like the local platform that gathering inside as well. So that will interpret it to see the traditional route and also the cultural and commercial route. That is very mixed, and that is very holistic way to see this building as a multi-layer. So the way that you travel, the way that you walk through, you will understand history, culture, people in the same time, and also the way that you go for shopping, go for drinking coffee, you will understand the culture and commercial in the modern world as well. So this is like you mix multi-layer of understanding and try to interpret everything. And that is an idea that you set your idea. This is a new narrative, right? And from that, you have to visualize what is new access of this district for, because my will, I want to see like where is the creative tourism, and tourism is set on to understand local people and commercial people as well. So we found out that canal river walk is very important asset where we never visualize. So we have to visualize it and give it an application that you can visualize in terms of historical and local way. Put more green area space, which is connecting to temple, connecting to local people village, and also visualize the area of the shop house, which is put on wooden house, put on modern building, and making more contemporary, because as you know, like they have a places that they have the modern shop house and also like the wooden shop house is connect together. So we have to visualize the pathway, which is a beautiful pathway to connecting and making a beautiful rhythm of the city. So this is a new asset of the city. And then from that, it visualized as a map, and you can see like the yellow is the cultural village that we have to making the zoning to perceive people inside the city, and also the purple area is the good for business area. We have to control them as a cultural business area, as a creative business, and that is the zoning which is visualized for many data, many participants. And I can never ask people to do something but just throw an idea on it, and that's it, guys. It sounds fun, it sounds challenging, but I think this is a new way to understand things, and this is the new tool to understand uh, your place, your community, variety, diversity, and make it more inclusive. I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoy, and I wish you can learn something from this lesson. So right now, if you look back to your report, maybe you can say like, okay, if you have to do cultural mapping, I don't want to spoil the final presentation at all. I don't spoil at all. If you have to use cultural mapping on your site, what is your topic? What is your focus group? And what is your game to want them to put it on your map? Just think creatively, and then we will talk about this later in the class. I mean, like in the next 2 weeks that you will meet me again. But next week, you will meet Ajahn Pranom. Ajahn Pranom will give you a lecture about mapping, about, no, not mapping, but planning management. So I hope you enjoy my lecture. So if you have any questions, you can type down on comment right now and I can go back and check on it. Or maybe you email me as usual and I will send you any solution or any comments back to your comments. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy your weekend and bye bye.